you'll get different uh, perspectives of the Cape Epic. For me, it was hell on earth. I'm gonna tell you now. You end up fighting for a little bush just to hide for shade. That's how bad it was.
Welcome back to another episode where we talk cycling with almost elites. Thank you so much for all the love we've gotten from you guys. We've gotten some great feedback. We do read your comments. Please, if you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe and hit the like button. Today we chat to Calvin. Eugene. Actually, Calvin is the closest we can get to the big pros, the likes of Lutando Kaka, the likes of. So we're very excited. This man. We just watch these guys on Strava, and this guy gets to ride with them. So we're excited to have a chat with Calvin to explore that. And Calvin, welcome to the show, my guy.
No, thanks very much, Innocent.
So Calvin, tell us, introduce yourself.
Yes,
tell us how long you've been cycling. Tell us about. I know you've been cycling FXTM when I first met you, which is now I think Xynergy. Tell us about some of the clubs you've ridden with.
Yes.
Just a bit of background. How long you've been riding, what type of rider you are, etc. Let's get to know you where cycling is concerned.
Okay. My name is Calvin Tshaka, like Innocent introduced me as. So my cycling career started actually in 1998 when I was just under 16. At that time, I was just a development rider back then, and then I started riding for a team called Diamond Wheelers in 1998. And then
I was only 5 years old.
It was very few cyclists, especially in the black community. Hey?
I was only 5 at that time.
Yeah, I was only 5, but I was already cycling back then. So I started with a gentleman called George Joseph in Kimberley, where I started my cycling career. He's the one who actually was my coach, along with a gentleman called Robert Thomas. They were the guys who were mentoring me and coaching me in the cycling career. And then, with cycling, you have to put in the mileage, the training in order to be good. And since then, I just started improving and moving. In 2001, I started riding my first SA Champs. Out of riders of 160, I came 18th. And I know I'm not a sprinter. So yeah, I tried to, I finished with a bunch at the end of the day. But yeah, those are my highlights of the cycling. Like I said, I rode big girls.
Sorry, I'm saying, what are you? You're not a sprinter. Are you a climber? Are you a domestic for the team? What do you enjoy?
So I enjoy being a domestic and a climber, but lately I've improved in my sprinting. I don't know, is it because I've gained weight? But yeah, my sprinting has improved. But I still enjoy being a domestic and a climber, yeah. But I'm lagging on the climbing because of the weight issue there. So yeah, my years in cycling, sorry, my kids are making a noise in the background. I got 2 boys, they keep fighting.
I hope they also ride the bike, man.
I wish they can, but they will one day. So, yeah, cycling is not in them at the moment. They're doing other activities. So I've been actively cycling for 12 years. Why 12 years? I stopped cycling in 2002. I had to make a decision whether I go for cycling or I study. So I went the study route and started my marketing, career then. And then came back into cycling in 2016 again. I tried hiking, I tried playing golf, but it doesn't fulfill the excitement like cycling does. So I've been cycling again since 2016 until now. And then 2016 when I just started off with friends. But now, like you said, I'm cycling for Xynergy, previously known as FXTM. We're more a vets team where we support more the elite guys. The elite guys are the more where we put the focus on where Xfinity and FXTM puts their focus on, but we more the support riders for Velocaya and Xfinity.
Okay, no, that's good, man. So, tell us which riders you look up to, and who are some of your favorite riders that you look up to.
I'm gonna start when I was still young. In 1998, 1999, I used to look up to a guy by the name of Jan Ulrich. He was the guy I used to look up to when he was still riding for Deutsche Telekom. And then locally, there was a guy, and I know he's still cycling, Nick White, when he was riding for a team called HSBC. Back then, along with Doug Ryder, he was riding for IBM then. Those are the guys that I used to look up to, and they were my role models. But currently, I look up to a guy by the name of Wout van Aert. He's a guy that I really would like to be, when I grow up, and I want to ride like him. Yeah, be an all-rounder, basically.
No, that's good, man. Seeing that you've started cycling since 1998, you said, eh? What has been the biggest highlights of your cycling journey? Because it's been so many years, and I'm sure there's a lot to highlight, highs and lows. What has been the biggest highlights of your journey?
Yes. The biggest highlights was last year, actually. I think I was at my peak of cycling when I did the Cape Cycle Tour. I finished it at 2 hours 48. That was the best time I've done it by far. And like I said, I was at the peak of my fitness, and and I hope I keep it that way. And what helps me the most is because I had a coach. And people take it for granted that having a coach, it's a waste. It's not a waste. It helps a lot. Sometimes you can be going out there training, but there comes a point where you hit the limit. And having a coach just helps you go over that limit to improve your cycling. And I would highly recommend it for guys who want to, take cycling very seriously and, show results. Get a coach. It helps a lot. It also motivates you to wake up in the morning and put in the mileage.
Wow. Well, very impressive, I must say. For me, hitting 248 on that cycle tour route, that route means business. Big ups,
Yes.
big ups for that. Quite an impressive result. I think I first met you when we were riding mountain bike, and I've also done some road biking with you. Do you do both? Tell us about that. I mean, which do you enjoy more? Tell us about your mountain bike versus road experience or juggling that you do.
Okay. I'm more a roadie, so I got introduced to mountain biking by my cousin, who also cycles with me in Pretoria. So mountain biking for me, it's a social activity, where you meet up with guys, go out for coffee. But recently it has become a serious sport now, serious activity now, where I'm focusing now on mountain biking, especially during winter seasons. I tend to ride more mountain bike. So I had the privilege to ride my first Wine to Wales last year. Very tough as well. But then this year I had the opportunity to ride the Cape Epic. So the thing with mountain biking, you have to do a lot of training, technical training especially. If you're not doing a lot of technical training, don't go ride technical routes, rather ride open tracks. So I got the Cape Epic entry 10 days before the Epic itself. And last year, I haven't been training for the Cape Epic. I was training more for road cycling, and road races. So when I got the opportunity, I didn't say no. It comes it's a once in a lifetime achievement to get the entry.
Yeah, so
I took it with both hands.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know what the Cape Epic is, can you tell us what that is?
Well, you'll get different perspectives of the Cape Epic. For me, it was hell on earth. I'm gonna tell you now. You know, they were not lying when they said it's the toughest mountain bike stage race in the world. It is definitely.
Wow.
I even asked the guys who did the epic previously. They'll tell you the epic this year was the most difficult one. There's a lot of teams that pulled out, especially after stage one, due to dehydration. There was a video that was on social media that was posted of me where there was this one climb you could not ride that climb, so we all pushed our bikes. We did not have water in our bottles. The next water point was like 5 k's.
Wow.
And you end up fighting for a little bush just to hide for shade. That's how bad it was. But it was all in the mind. You end up pushing just to finish the race.
Wow.
So we ended up finishing it. But yeah, I felt like I was dying on that climb, and I'm sure a lot of people were also feeling like dying. We ended up asking for water from spectators, and they gave us water in the water lid just to dry our throat, just to make our
wow.
Yeah, you see, you don't see such things on YouTube or on the televised epic. They show the elite riders, and you're like, wow, I can do this thing. But when you're there, it's a different story altogether. So yeah, that was Cape Epic in a nutshell. But I crashed so many times there, it's not even funny. I crashed on stage 2 where I fractured my wrist. So the doctors suggested that I don't do stage 3. So I went for x-rays. They picked up that I did not break any bones, so I could continue stage 4. And stage 5, I had to then pull out because on stage 4 I had a terrible crash. It was on a mountain cliff where it's either you ride, or if you don't ride, you're gonna fall off the cliff. And I ended up rolling down the cliff, got on the bike again, finished stage 4, and then stage 5. I couldn't wake up because I had a flu as well, because it was raining on stage 4. We ended up feeling cold, and so I stopped Cape Epic at stage 5. I didn't continue stage 5 until the end of the epic, but my partner Lutando managed to finish in good time. He was the stronger rider. Yeah. So he did well. Yeah, he's a pro. I'm just a rider.
Yeah, he is, man. You mentioned earlier that it was quite an opportunity, getting your hands on that entry. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what are some of the barriers to entering Cape Epic? Is it very expensive? Is it that it requires, excessive fitness?
Okay, yes, it is very expensive. I mean, you're looking at an entry for 2 people, it's like 100,000 Rand.
Wow.
Just for an entry for 2 people for the 8 days.
Wow.
That's the first part. And then the training, if you want to do Epic next year, you still have to start training now in order to finish Epic comfortably.
Would you say that's something you would have done differently? So, what could you have done differently preparing for?
I mean, if I knew a year before, I would have performed much better. Like I said, a race like Epic, you need to prepare yourself technically, especially on mountain biking. The trails there are not, like I say, pop and place, It's not what we call here, technical. Technical is different from what we call technical here in Gauteng. You climb... the elevation that you do there, you do over 2,500 of climbing over a distance of 100 kilometers, and it's not open roads, it's technical roads, it's single trails, there are times where you have to push your bike. That's how bad it is.
I've always been interested, I think from someone who sort of does both mountain biking and road biking, in terms of what's the differences in terms of the training for road biking versus mountain biking? Like you're saying, there's technical stuff, but how does that translate in terms of now, you're going out and you're preparing and you're training for a mountain bike race versus a road race?
So I'm going to go back to the coach point now. Your coach, you will tell your coach, listen, yeah, I need to do a Cape Epic, for instance. He will then give you a training program based on what you train, or what race you want to do. So with me, when I told him I'm going to do Cape Epic, yes, it was short notice, but the most important thing, it was with mountain biking, you need more time on the saddle. If you're going to do long races, you need a lot of time on the saddle. It's not about your average speed like road. With road, you're focusing on increasing your average speed and moving fast.
Yes.
With mountain bike, it's more time on the saddle because of it's not a race that you would speed, but you need to finish it in a comfortable time, and you need to be comfortable on your bike as well. So there is a difference in training with mountain biking versus road cycling. But with me, on mountain biking, I love the endurance races. I did the race in Namibia. It's called the Desert Dash. So you ride, we did it as a two-man team. You ride from Windhoek to Walvis Bay or Swakopmund.
Sure.
You need to finish it within 24 hours. And that's a distance of plus minus 390 kilometers. So that is more a mind thing where you have to, mentally you have to be prepared for it. You cannot just rock up there and say, I'm going to do 390 kilometers. You need to prepare yourself mentally over a while. You need to do a lot of distance training, like I said, time on the saddle, 6 hours to 8 hours on a Saturday that you just ride your bike. Doesn't matter of distance, but your hours on the saddle.
And then
whereas
just
road,
also...
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yeah. So just to touch on the coaching element as well, because I'm very interested. Like I've been on that. Should I get a coach? Should I not get a coach in order to improve the gains?
Yes.
Is there one area where like you feel like looking back, maybe you thought you were a great rider until there was maybe one thing that you felt you learned and you hold dear because sort of like a coach opened your eye to maybe either your riding style or your pedaling efficiency or how to maybe increase your FTP. Is there something that you felt was key that you could have only like learned through a coach instead of doing it yourself?
Yeah, you see, doing it yourself, you tend to lie to yourself, basically.
That's
riding
true.
alone, you think, I'm the best, I can do this thing until you get into a race, or until you ride with a bunch. Then you see, actually, I'm still way behind. And like I said, I was riding. I train with a group called Velo in the mornings. It's a group here in Pretoria. So I used to just ride with them Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays. They're quite fast, And then I thought, no, man, I'm doing this thing. I'm good at this. Until I hit a wall where I couldn't go beyond that wall. And then one rider said, no, get a coach, and he recommended a coach. And then when I got involved with this coach, I saw my heart rate improving, your breathing is improved. You'll be able to do your efforts, your sprints. Like I said, I've improved a lot on my sprints. I used to be a time trialist. Now I'm leaning more to sprinting now, and it's all because of a coach, because of it puts a program together for you, and you see that's what helps a lot in terms of improving your cycling.
And also just in conjunction with that. For someone like you, obviously, who's just can even go and do Cape Epic and do such lovely times on the Cape August. For you, right, from a training week, how many hours do you spend on like your average week in terms of training?
So I would look at plus minus 9 to 10 hours on a normal week, for the level of cycling that I want to be at. I need to do plus minus 9 to 10 hours, and that's on a road bike. If it's mountain biking, I'm going to look at more hours. Where you have to go out like half a day on a Saturday. Yeah.
Half a day is
And
quite
so,
big.
like I said, you know, it's all what you want to achieve at the end of the day. Some people, you know, as you grow old, you realize that I need to enjoy the sport. When you're young, you want to be competitive, you want to get podiums, you want to be at your best. But as you grow old, it's more, you know, for socializing, you have fun with the guys, you know, it's cycling becomes an exciting sport.
Okay, no, that's good, man. Just the last question from me. You know, you mentioned you mentioned a lot about the importance of having a coach. Would you consider being a coach? And are you a coach at the moment to the young boys in your club?
Yes, I would consider being a coach. Uh, you know, I'm planning to go on training courses. However, there are good coaches out there that, you know, I would highly recommend. For one, there's a guy that you interviewed a while ago. His name is London Tower Tsepiso. He's also a coach. If you know, if somebody needs a coach, they can always call on him. And by the way, I did a good cycle tour this year with him. We started in a group 3B, but we ended up, you know, winning that group. We came first and second in that group. That was because of rain. We thought we're not going to ride, but we ended up going out there and riding the race, and we did a good time myself. And he's an excellent rider. You know, so yeah, he's also a good coach. I would highly recommend him. I consult with a guy called Jaco Ferreira here in Pretoria. He's also one of the good coaches this side, and he's helped me a lot in terms of improving my cycling as well.
Okay. No, that's great. Thank you, Calvin. Okay, so I think we've used up a lot of your time now. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for spending time with us. Is there any like last words of wisdom that you'd like to share for any aspiring cyclists? You know, with the level of experience you've had, I think there's a lot you can share.
Well, for me, the word that I would leave to everybody is what you put in is what you get out. So if you want to see results, you have to put in the time and the effort. Otherwise, cycle for fun and go and enjoy your coffee rides.
And on that note, I'm going to grab me a coffee right now.
I love that.
Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much, Calvin. See you on the road.
So everyone, we'll catch you in the next episode.
Okay, see you guys on the road, huh?
Cheers. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers.